All right, I don't know if this is completely like not blurry or nothing, but hey, what is going on, guys? Ali here, back again with another video for you guys for SAO War of Underworld, episode 11. What can I say about this episode? I want to say it was very scary because of what the enemy side is doing. In that, first of all, the Dark Lord, God Vecta, Mr. Miller, what he's doing to the Pugilist guild and telling them what to do. Sorry, I'm at a convention. Which is by an airport, so you're gonna hear planes. But what can I say about what Mr. Miller is just telling the champion of the Pugilist guild, like, I don't care how many casualties, make ropes across the giant ravine or whatever that Austin had made and go over there, regardless if you're falling off or something. And they're all dying in vain. And you see the champion, like, his right eye turning red. So you know shit's gonna happen, shit's gonna go down, it's gonna go crazy, right? And just how he just doesn't care about the Pugilist Guild, and not only them, but also the Dark Knights. He's telling the Dark Knights and the Pugilist people to go across without doing, without even care for them. Just saying, like, hey, I don't care if you guys are dying or not, just get over there, get across. It's just, like, messed up. And then you see a lady, I forgot her name, the girl that wanted to fight the champion again, like the really thin sword, coming in hot, destroying everything. It was messed up and stuff. And also, before all this happened, we got to see, like, a backstory with Bercoli sipping some wine with the Pontifex, which was very interesting. And she asked him, like, do you dream about death, or do you have premonitions of death or something like that? Or he asked her, or she asked, I forgot which one, but she started talking about, like, because I don't have control over everything, I'm always thinking about death is everywhere and stuff, and that it's imminent, and that, like, she's talking about, like, the dark territory, that things going horribly and death and stuff is, like, imminent and stuff. She's always thinking about that stuff, and it was cool to see that backstory that Bercoli and the Pontifex had, right? So we got that. And it turns out, and something that was that made me scared for this episode was what the enemy was in the outside world, what they were doing. I forgot the scientist dude on the other side, like, who was making fun of Mr. Miller's friend, calling him an idiot and stuff like that. But turns out that he made something in which he kind of made the underworld into, like, a fake beta or something to get people from America to start playing like player versus player PvP in the underworld, like, around, I don't know how much, like, it was 30,000 to, like, 100,000 people. So now the enemy is going to bring in, like, 100,000 people, and the thing is, they don't realize that these people, these AIs with real souls, they're like real people coming into the game, or not into the game, but those people coming into the game don't even realize that. Another plane. But yeah, that's the horrifying thing, because none of them know what the hell is going on. They just saw this cool beta thing. They're like, yo, you can cut arms off and limbs and heads and stuff. Like, it's gonna be horrifying. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I don't know. But anyways, that stuff was horrifying. And then on top of that, he decided to make the underworld, instead of, like, I believe it was 500 times faster than the real world and stuff. But he made it to where it's the exact same time or time frame without anybody knowing, without the Kikurua or whatever his name is, the detective dude. Like, first of all, that was crazy. And then he got a message from Yui about what's going on, and that, like, he realized that, like, he found out that they changed the time frame of the underworld into the exact time in the real world, which was crazy. Like, this is a very scary time in the underworld right now, because there's so many people thinking that it's a game or it's a new beta, and being that like, hey, this looks awesome, we get to cut heads and limbs off and stuff like that. That's what's sick about like this whole situation in general, because these are actually people, and in America these people don't even realize that they are real people in the underworld. But anyways, even that was crazy, but also that what was it, him changing the time frame, it was so like so many American people can play but not in Japan because of the time difference. So even if like people were to gather in Japan or whatever, when Sinon and Leaf, I'll just say Leaf, for some reason like in my head like I'm like blanking. So Yuzuriha, and like her and Sinon realized what was happening. It turns out that like the old Wrath warehouse or whatever has 2 STL machines, so they're gonna go in and help Asuna. And also something that was so emotional, which I loved about this episode, was when Lisbeth and all of them, and Agil and Yui and what's his name? I forgot his name. Anyways, you know who I'm talking about. The dude with the red hair or whatever. Anyways, they were all trying to find out like how to get into the game or into the underworld, because it's not a game. And that whole situation with Lisbeth, like after they all decided like, hey, let's do it, and then Yui's like, hey, there's some like problems that could happen. And so Lisbeth was talking to everybody in Alpha Online, being like, we need you guys now so much. Like, this is like their desperate hour and stuff. And just seeing Lisbeth talking about this stuff, being that like, first of all, some guy in the stands is like, she's talking about all the risks that like they can lose their avatars completely if they die in the underworld and stuff, and that they're going to experience excruciating pain like when they actually die in the game, and you have to die in the game for them to log off and go into the real world. So it's like somewhat opposite of what happened with SAO, like similar but also opposite at the same time with like SAO and stuff. So that was like heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. And then you got like some guy in the stand saying like, if all this is happening, why would I help you guys? SAO players all glorified and shit and stuff. And it was just sad that they were all saying that when these SAO players were so traumatized by everything that happened. Like, nobody was glorified. Like, I can't see anybody necessarily being glorified and a SAO player being happy about it or excited about it. I mean, they went through horrible things. They probably had friends, multiple friends that were killed in the game and then died in real life. Like, that shit was horrifying. So then Lisbeth is talking to them like, you know what? None of us think that we guarantee you, we can tell you right now, I promise you, that we don't feel glorified or anything. All these SLL players in this special school for us, because of, you know, the time frame that they were in the game, like once a month, it's mandatory for them to have therapy. A lot of them are forced to take pills or medicine to like cope with what's going on with their lives. And that guy in the stand started feeling like shit. He deserved to feel like shit. And then she's talking about like, yeah, it may be not the actual world that we live in, but this world of ALO, Alpha Online, SAO, are real to us. And she's talking about how the underworld, they are real people. They are real AIs and real souls. Like, this is real shit for us. This is our reality. Even though the real world, like, is their reality too, this world is their alternate reality. Everything about this world is theirs. and makes them like who they are as people, even though it's not technically like literally the real world. So like just to hear Lisbeth talking about that, like saying please to all of like the leaders of the different like elves, or like the cat sylph and the Sylvain elves, and just all of them pleading with them like, please help us, please get into the underworld with us to fight with us. And like I was so happy to see when Lisbeth and all of them decide to bow, Agil and all of them and stuff, and then you got Yui there. When they bowed, I was like, oh my gosh, my heart, because halfway through this freaking episode, I was scared as hell because of what that guy on Mr. Miller's side, the enemy side, did, and that like faking it, being like it's a beta test or whatever for this game, horrified me. It scared the shit out of me. I was scared. Like, but I'm glad that they already put, what the hell? Oh, somebody was yelling. But I'm glad that they already implemented that like all these players from ALO are gonna head into the underworld, even though they might lose everything that they have for this character and stuff, and they will experience tremendous pain in the process if they die, because they have to die in the game to get out of the game. And it was so sad, but like I'm excited to see Sinon and oh no, it's not Yusuri. What am I saying? It's Sugu. I'm excited to see them go into the STL machine and head into the underworld with Asuna. I'm excited and ecstatic about that. Like I'm ready for it and everything, and everybody else about to go into the underworld for the ALO. The Alpha Online characters all ready to head into the underworld to fight all of these random players from America to fight and stuff. And I liked it how it kind of not backfired on the enemy, Mr. Miller's friend, who was doing all the tech stuff, but I liked it how it was already resolved in this episode, in that like all of these Alpha Online players are going to head into the underworld to fight alongside them and stuff. And it seems like ALO is going to possibly start from zero or something if we get another season of Sword Art Online. So I'm kind of excited for that, like later on down the line. But it was a good episode, and by the end of the episode, when Asuna and all of them were taking out like the Pugilists and the Dark Knights and stuff, all of those red beams came crashing down, and all of those players, those VR players, have come in already. And it's crazy that the developers have no control at all anymore of the underworld. So I don't think they can put like the time frame back to what it was, like 500 times faster than what the real world is. So sorry again, the airplane, but I'm excited and I'm ready for it. I don't know what else to say, except that happened at the end, and it was scary, and I was happy that it was already resolved, like halfway through the episode, or like even a little more than halfway through the episode. So that was good, and it was heartbreaking to see the champion see his people dying in vain, man. That shit was sad. And seeing Bercoli's backstory a little bit with the Pontifex, not necessarily his exact backstory, but his backstory with the Pontifex was pretty cool. And oh yeah, just like the cute thing of where like all these girls are like staying up, like watching over like Kirito and stuff, and then Kirito being fed by his kohai, whatever, and she's saying that like he looks like he's getting healthier and having like a better appetite, and then Alice saying that like maybe it's because he's surrounded by 4 beauties that he feels better or something like that. Which, I mean, I kind of would too. But that was funny. And then Asuna, what she did was kind of funny, like her smirk or her face was funny. and just Sinon and finally, Sinon and Sugu finally going into the underworld is exciting, and we're gonna see all of these ALO players coming into, and Lisbeth's speech about everything that happened, including SAO, and like all the way from Ankrid SAO all the way up to past season 2. Like we're like just shown like a flashback of like images and stuff which was awesome, and it was emotional, and her bowing with her friends was emotional and stuff, and all of the leaders of like the tribes in that in ALO are smiling, meaning that like, hey, you know what, we are gonna help you, and I'm excited for that. I'm ready to see all that stuff. But what did you guys think about this episode? Leave down in the comments your thoughts about this episode, your thoughts about what I said about the episode and stuff in this video, and like the video if you did, like the video if you liked the episode, like the video if you liked anything I had to say, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, and favorite discussion videos and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sassy. Most important to everybody, you gotta stay a little nasty. Alright, so peace and love, and I will see y'all later in the next video. Peace out, may the force be with you always, and plus, ultra, and laton. Peace out, guys, and man, it's freezing. I gotta get out of here. Deuces.